Hi, my name is Dan Hanan, and I'm Rosh Yeshiva of Keter, Hatorah. I'd like to give you a little word today about this week's Parshas Vayichi. So in this week's Parsha, Yaakov is about to pass on to the next world, and he gives each one of the children a bracha, and he also divides up his wealth. So to Yosef, he says, I'll give you Shechem, and he says, which I took with my sword and bow. My sword and bow. Harbi uvakashti. Okay, Harbi uvakashti. What happened? Shimon and Levi went in, and they destroyed Shechem and all the other surrounding cities there. There was a big war. And Yaakov helped out. Everybody helped out. It wasn't just them alone that caused the whole war there. And Yaakov attributes his success to Harbi uvakashti, my sword and my bow. Everybody, almost all the Meforshim, do not take Harbi uvakashti literally, my sword and bow. They all describe it in a more spiritual context. The question is why? How did they know? Even Rashi, how did they know how to explain that in a spiritual context? Why did they do that? So we have to understand how a war is fought. Okay, many number of years ago, when Israel went into Gaza, so they went in first. You go in with planes, and then they went in the ground first. You knock out the guys with planes. Even in the Iraq War, Iraq and around, Iraq and the United States. They went in with planes, and then you go in with ground force. You don't go in with ground force and then planes. So if you look at the way Yaakov said he conquered Shechem, it was Harbi, which is a sword, and then Kashti, which is a arrow. So it's first ground troops, and then the air. So that's not the way you fight a war. Why did Yaakov say Harbi Kashti? That's out of order. So since it's out of order as a natural way of making a war, we know from there that it was a spiritual way, that there was a spiritual war. Okay, so there are three different explanations that I want to bring down. There's many explanations, but I want to talk about three of them. There's only one person, maybe a couple of people, that actually say it was Klei Milchama, a sword and a bow. But most Meforshim say Harbi Vakashti is spiritual. So Onkelos translates Harbi Vakashti Salosi Uvaosi, prayer and supplications. Prayer and supplications. What's Salosi? Salosi is a regular Shmona Esrei. I daven. So our davening is compared to a sharp sword. Sharp sword cuts. Sharp swords are dangerous. Go into the kitchen, you can count the cuts on your hand when you miss with your knife. Sharp swords are dangerous. It doesn't take much to get hurt by a sharp sword. It doesn't take much koach. Which means that even if a person davens with minimal kavana, they just move the thing. You just move your sword. You one tap, you already cut somebody. A few words of Shmona Esrei, a few words of Shema, a few words of Pesukei de Zimra. These words with minimal kavana have a tremendous impact. They're dangerous, and they can do things in the world. They can have power in the world. That's Losi. Ubaosi is the bow and arrow. What's the koach of a bow and arrow? Is how much you put into it. The more you pull it back, the farther back you pull the string, the higher the arrow goes. That's the way with Hashem. We have our prayer, which is the sword, and Va'osi is a type of hisbodedus, or a type of personal prayer. And Va'osi, what you put into that, makes your prayer very powerful. And it goes higher and higher when you put your own being into it. You say your own words, you daven for your needs, and of course the needs should see where you put your daven in that way, and then that's what you put your koach. So that was how Yaakov won the war, according to Onkelos. Rashi says that it was Torah and prayer. Tolosi vosi, Torah and prayer, because you need both. The way I understand it is that you have to have Torah. Torah is like the chomer that you have. You have your skuyot, you have your chomer, you have your kedusha that you build, and then prayer. Prayer brings that kedusha. Prayer is used to shape that kedusha, and you can do. And when you pray in the combination with Torah, so that's losi uvoosi, my Torah and my prayers. So if you have a lot of Torah, so even a very minimum prayer can do a lot. You have a little bit of Torah, so then you need a little bit more prayer to make that little bit of Torah powerful. But the balance is there's a balance of Torah and prayer. There's one more. The Lekach Tov says that Tolosi Losi, how do you fight? There's a fight within yourself, and then you fight the outside. So if you want to change, everybody says you want to change, first change yourself. You can't change everybody around you. You can't change. That's for them to change. You want to change the world, change yourself. So Tolosi is the inside, the close fight, the fight with the sword, the fight in your heart, to believe in a Kodesh Baruch Hu, to see His help. That's Tolosi. And Va'osi is once you, we, us, the world, once you fix your heart, once you get everything in your heart settled, and you're serving Hashem, the Kedusha, the Tahara, then you watch your eyes, Va'osi, you watch, be careful, take precautions. Don't get involved in shtuyot around you. Keep the trouble away from you. That's Va'osi, that's the bow and arrow. Then there's the fight without. So once you conquer the fight within, now you can set up Gedarim and you can keep the fight away from you. Put a fence up. Take on a few chumras. Be careful where you go, what you do. That's Va'osi. You can work on your environment around you after that. So I just want to give everybody here a bracha that on whatever level we're fighting, whatever level that we're trying to get to Kodesh Baruch Hu, we remember Tolosi. The fight is fixed. We can win. We have the tools. Tolosi, we have the sharp tools. We have the inner strength. We have the Torah. We have everything we need. Va'osi. And then all we got to do is put our koach into it. God gives us everything we need. The Tolosi and the Va'osi. The Va'osi is from us. We've got to put our koach into it. And in this way, we can fix ourselves. We can come close to Kodesh Baruch Hu. And we can bring the Mashiach. B'nei Rabbi Amenu. Nomar. Amen.